The question I got asked is, how can I get my LinkedIn profile, the words they use were more searchable? I think the question is, how can I get my LinkedIn profile to be discovered in more of the right searches by the right people? So let's talk a little bit about what you can do to get your LinkedIn profile to show up again in more of the right searches by the right people. Well, number one is you need to know who the right people are. You need to be really clear about who your target audience is and who you want to be found by. If you don't know who your target audience is, then you're not going to be able to build a LinkedIn profile that can be found by them. Here's number two. You've got to know what are the words and phrases that resonate and are important to that target audience, so that you're absolutely using the words and phrases throughout all of your content, including your entire LinkedIn profile, that helps your LinkedIn profile rank higher because you're using the right words. Now let's go a little deeper. Now that you know who your target audience is, and you know what words and phrases resonate with them, now you can start building your LinkedIn profile. So let's talk about all the different sections where you can build a profile that helps you become found by the right people. Number one, use your headline, 220 characters. Use that and use the keywords and phrases in there that are important to your target audience. So that's the very first piece of data they find when they look at your LinkedIn profile on LinkedIn or even in a Google search. So you want to make sure that those are the right words that resonate with them. Number two, here's the next big one. In your About section, you get 2,600 characters in your About section. The first 3 lines are all they see by default. So you want to make sure you're using the words and the phrases and you are telling your target audience what you do to create value for them in that field. Specifically, to begin with, in these first 3 lines, and then throughout the entire LinkedIn profile. Use, again, the words and phrases that resonate with them. Now let's go a little deeper. Your experience section. In your experience section, specifically your current job or prior jobs that are highly relevant to your target audience, so the work you did was relevant. You first of all don't want to use a title that's HR assigned unless it is in fact keyword rich, speaking to your target audience. You don't need to put VP of Business Development in there. You don't need to put Quality Control Manager in there unless those words are important and maybe the words that they are looking for. That's what you want to put in your title, words that they're looking for. Then when you write this text in your experience section, you get 2,000 characters in each one. You want to tell your target audience what you do in this role or what you did in prior roles that is either relevant to what you do for them, showing value, showing how you serve them, or showing how you learned and grew. And again, using keywords and phrases that are important to them so that they see the words that they use in this text. And so do the bots and search engines. Prior experiences, again, you talk about prior experiences only to the extent where it shows professional growth or relevance to what you do today. And if it's not relevant at all, don't talk about that other company. You don't want to use words that diminish your ranking for the words that are important to your target audience. Then you keep going through every other section. License and certifications. Make sure you're getting licenses and certifications that are relevant to your target audience. And volunteering. You want to talk about what you do as a volunteer, where relevant and appropriate. If you do volunteer work that is relevant to what you do for your target audience, make sure you talk about that. Skill words. You want skill words and phrases, again, that are relevant to your target audience. Here's a really big one that most people don't take in consideration, and that is recommendations. Ask for recommendations of the people whom you have served. And when you ask for recommendations, hopefully the work you're doing is relevant to the work you do for others. Ask these people who are recommending you to use keywords and phrases that are relevant to that target audience. Be very specific about asking for the right recommendation. Publications. Include publications, again, that show relevance, show growth, show involvement, show that you are a part of the industry or a part of this movement or work or whatever. Don't have publications on here that are irrelevant. Courses, projects, organizations, interests. And you want to look throughout your entire LinkedIn profile and you want to make sure that you're building it. Same thing with featured content and rich media. Make sure you're putting content on your LinkedIn profile that continues to increase your ranking because you're using the keywords and phrases that resonate with your target audience, so that it and also will improve the ranking by LinkedIn, improve the ranking by Google, so you show up in more of the right searches. Now let's talk about another aspect that would be important to do. You can increase the ranking and increase the views by the bots and by humans by being active on LinkedIn. You want to engage on content and share content, again, that is relevant to your target audience, and use those keywords and phrases within that content, the editorial, that when you're posting. You also want to engage on other content, and when you do engage, make sure your comments or your replies are relevant to that piece of content, but where appropriate, in using those keywords and phrases that resonate with your target audience when you're engaging. You also want to use LinkedIn messaging to engage with your target audience. LinkedIn considers people who engage through messaging, they rank them a little higher than people who don't use any LinkedIn messaging or don't get into any conversations. You want to keep connecting. The more you grow your LinkedIn network, the more opportunities for you to engage on more content, have more people engage on your content. You also want to look for third-party content off of LinkedIn, websites, YouTube videos, other blog posts, etc., and maybe even Quora or even Facebook or Instagram or wherever. You want to engage on more content outside of LinkedIn. Where you can, you want to strive for what's called backlinks. And a backlink is basically where, when you have the opportunity, when you're engaging on a blog, they'll often ask you for your name, email address, and website. Well, use your LinkedIn profile URL as that website, and that will help you create backlinks to your profile, which will rank you higher in Google searches. Don't do this haphazardly or sloppily, but do it on a regular basis, once a week or so. And again, over time, you will see your LinkedIn profile rank higher in Google searches because of those backlinks. My last tip is to stay focused. Know who your target audience is. Know what kind of content and stories and information, keywords and phrases resonate with them. And make sure that you are engaging on the right kind of content, using the right kind of messaging and words. Again, the more deliberate you are at this, the more you will increase the ranking of your LinkedIn profile in LinkedIn and in Google searches, so that your LinkedIn profile becomes more discoverable by your target audience when they're looking for those keywords and phrases. I'm Teddy, your LinkedIn and Sales Navigator strategist, trainer, and coach. This is a journey, not a race. Start the journey and keep going, and you'll see the results. Take care.